guys, Boomslang here. I just wanted to go over gathering. How'd you go from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 within the tree? So going from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you're basically just starting out in the starting zone. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but you're basically just it's unfortunate because it is going to be somewhat boring, so it does take time. There's not too many things that you can do to make it go faster apart from just grind. The main thing that I have done is my leatherworking and my mining. Mining was a lot harder to do because the nodes are not so compact together. So it's totally down to you guys what you're going to level up and what you like doing. But for example, back to my video where I'm talking about forcing, rare mobs to spawn. When I say rare, instead of it just being a tier 4 giant stag, it ends up, more than likely after you've killed so many of them in a row, it's going to be a tier 4.1, 4.2 or 4.3 depending on what group you're forcing. And then the same goes for, in this, I'm in the same area that I was in the last video. So this was where I was just literally farming out the tier 4 stags, but just below it there is also this very grouped up fiber patch. And as you can see, people are here and they're just going back and forth, waiting for it to spawn, literally picking up everything, and it's going to take you some time. It really is. Now, I did think before that just making a circular pattern around the map, just going for every node that you want to go for, be it mining or leather gathering or wood cutting or gathering rock, it's totally up to you how you do it. But it's not going to be the fastest way. I found it was so painful to go from a tier 4 skinning knife to a tier 5, running around to random patches of mobs, killing what I could, running to the next. I actually, after the video had cut, I just stayed there because I noticed that the experience gain was so huge. Because I'm just staying in one spot, I'm not wasting the time running around, because I'm going to attack that. Basically, me running from one spot to the next, it took longer for me to do that than just staying there and waiting for the smaller amount of time for the mobs to spawn. So for me, I would say the quickest way is stay in one spot, chuck on the gathering, so Skinner's Garb in this instance. I could put it up to tier 5 now, and have that bonus stack up so that you're potentially having a chance to get extra materials when you're gathering, and just keep literally spamming it out, and all you need to do is get to the 20% mark. So for my next one I am very far away, but you get to the 20% mark, you don't use your learning points for anything but gathering or crafting, whatever you're into, and you literally just have this ready to go. Because it's going to take me probably another 4 days to have the learning points, because it's probably going to be about 220-ish. And then as soon as I'm 20% of the way there, learn it, bam, tier 6 tool, I'm now able to skin tier 7 mobs. Now the recommendation for when you're in the starting zone or the tutorial island is to not leave it until you've gotten all of your gathering skills to tier 3. That is the common knowledge, the consensus. Stay there, get your tier 3. Don't leave until that is done. Because then you come out of the tutorial island, you can go to a starting zone, anyone you want, Obviously, if you're doing skinning, you want to go to one that's got skinning available immediately. So Bridgewatch is a good one, because obviously this is just outside Bridgewatch. As we can see, lazy grass plain, Bridgewatch. And, you know, you can come to lazy grass, or you can, you know, it's a yellow zone, so you could be attacked, stunned, go down for quite a while, lose 10% of your stacks, all of that good stuff. But you could go just outside the other way from Bridgewatch and literally farm up in a tier 4 blue zone. And there you go, pop to tier 4.1. And you could stay in the blue zones. So there's a tier 3, tier 4 there, tier 4 there as well. You know, there's loads of options. It is really up to you how you do it. But for me, chuck on the skinning or fiber gathering or stone gathering set. If you're not, when it comes to red zones and black zones, you have to weigh it up as to whether you want to take an ox. A lot of people critique me on my videos for always using the ox. It's not good, you're going to get ganked, you can't get away. They're right. It just depends on how much are you willing to lose it. Because if you don't take the ox, you're not going to be able to stay in that zone for a long time gathering, unless you're destroying the materials, at which point you're losing any profit that you were going to make, because obviously this setup is an investment. You don't have to have the tier 5 bag. I've just got it because I couldn't be bothered to purchase another one and I can afford to lose it. But if you stay in this in these yellow, red and black zones, because you're now trying to gather the higher tier materials, which by the way also being critiqued that you know, what I'm doing here, you can't really do that in the higher tier zones because they're not as grouped up. There's some truth to that, but in my the black zone guide, you know, I was in a tier 5 zone and there was tier 6 mobs spawning on top of tier 5 mobs and tier 4 mobs if I remember correctly. So, you know, you just need to search through a map until you find enough of a clumped up area to just literally sit there and farm it out. If it's not respawning quick enough, just move on to the next part. But for me, I haven't tested this yet because as you can see I'm still tier 5 and not gone too far into heading towards the 20% to get to tier 6. But for me, if you stayed here, you might get to tier 6 quicker than if you go to a, you know, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7 zone. Trying to build up enough experience to use your learning points. So this for me would be the best place if you want to look at the leather and the fiber, because obviously the fiber is just below us, and it's, you know, if you get bored of doing the skinning, switch over to the fiber. We have to just walk around a bit, but obviously I've got the skinner's garb on, so I want to focus on skinning. So yeah, that's kind of it really, guys. That's what you should be trying to do when it comes to trying to get those, you know, one tier to the next. Give it a shot, tell me what you think. For me, it's been the fastest way. The only other thing you could do is bring the labourer journals, so the skinning labourer journal, and take a few stacks of them, and then if you've got a couple of houses on your island, this is only really for premium, but if you've got a few houses on your island and it's all got skinning labourers in, and you're taking tier 3 and 4 journals, you have to build them up a little bit to do that. But if you're taking tier 3 and 4 journals, then, or well, you can take tier 2, because it's tier 2 and 2 levels beyond it that count. So this would still work for here, and you'd build them up to tier 4 eventually. But if you hand those journals back in, the 22 hours later that they come back, you know, you're getting a really nice experience boost to your skinning, for example, and you're also getting some materials in return. So, you know, bear in mind though, if your island is not at Bridgewatch, you are going to have to run back to Caerleon with those journals to put them into your island in Caerleon, or if you know, if you're in another city outside of Caerleon. I'm just coming to Bridgewatch area because this is where I found this really good spot. So just keep that in mind. If you are running it back to Caerleon, there is a chance that you are going to lose those items if you get ganked, because there is 2 red zones and the underway, which is also classed as a red zone to go through. So keep it in mind. It's an extra, it's not a requirement. This works on its own as is. Yeah, apart from that, guys, you know, I'm over the 1,000 sub mark. You guys are insane. I absolutely love all of you, and I'm just so happy that I can bring you content that you enjoy. And yeah, let's see what the future holds, what we can do, what I can do, and yeah, I'm just going to keep on making content. I'm trying to speak to a few game companies to see if there's any way that they would let me do any reviews of some new games that are in alpha or beta. There's no guarantees. You know, I'm not just thinking, oh, I'm 1,000 subs now I'm amazing, I'm gonna get all these games. I'm just trying. At the end of the day, you don't ask, you don't get. So I'm just trying to see what else I can bring you guys. Albion will always be here, but you know, I'd like to try doing once a week, you know, maybe a review of a game that I've managed to get into, or just a game that's free to play, or, you know, just once a week, something a little different, keep the interest alive, let you guys see something else. And yeah, just see how we go. If the game is well received, I could start doing a little series on it, how to make money, or how best to progress your character, you know, all these sorts of things. I've started to ramble, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I just want to say I appreciate all of you, and I'm going to keep cranking out the content, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good weekend all, and Boomslang out. Love you guys.